Nick, if we take an overall look at the response, this polling by True North shows that it's largely been positive.
Yeah, this is very much first impression. It was taken in the 24 hours immediately after the budget. It's the quickest poll I think that's ever been done, but 1,000 people, so it's quite a substantial sample. And I think people are struggling to find anything not to like in the budget. 88% of people think it's either positive or neutral for the country. Slightly smaller percent think it's positive or neutral for them personally. And a positive reaction across political parties, but notably, as you'd expect, amongst Liberal and National voters. So in terms of giving people a budget that they can appreciate and can see is doing some work, I think Josh Frydenberg has scored a tick on that one.
And if we dive into some of the specific measures announced, we see some interesting figures when it comes to funding for mental health.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, there's strong support for the measures on NDIS and aged care, and indeed for the money that's been given towards the mental health program. But the interesting thing on mental health is it's a large number of people, about 40%, who say there should be more spent on it. So 50% think it's about right, 40% say more. And I think this shows that this really is a big sleeper of a political issue that political parties over the years have taken, not really taken seriously, but not taken seriously, but not really focused on. But now I think there's a lot more awareness of mental health in all sorts of areas, whether that's organisations like Beyond Blue, whether it's the work that's being done for returned servicemen. People are much more aware. Many people, of course, have personal or family experience of this. Now, I think this shows that the government's definitely on the right track with its focus on mental health, but people think there's a lot more work to do on that yet.
Let's talk about housing. Interestingly, about half of those surveyed say that the spend in this sector is about right.
Yeah, that's right. And either that or people say it's too much in a few cases. This varies, as you'd expect, according to age. So if you look at the younger age group, a larger number think there should be more spent on housing. But overall, I think the government would mark this down as a tick. Certainly amongst Liberal and the National voters, they're quite happy with this. There's a very strong feeling in the community that we have to do something to help first-time buyers get into the market. And interestingly, there is, at the moment, a record number of first-time buyers, highest number for 11 years. So it is working, but people expect more to be done. And I think these measures, which largely assist people in getting the loan for a deposit, particularly the people like single mothers who might otherwise find it hard, have been welcomed. But, you know, in this kind of area, in a sense, it doesn't matter how much the government does, people will all expect more.
There was a big focus in the budget on women in particular, a $3.4 billion commitment, a 50-plus page standalone statement actually focused on health and economic security. How have women reacted to it?
Well, True North didn't ask about that specific women's package, but they did get a very good impression of how women have, whether they feel the budget is positive or neutral or negative. And I think it'd be true to say that women are a little bit more hesitant on this. Certainly, you know, the same proportion are positive or neutral on the budget, but more sitting in the neutral camp. So if I pull up the figures here, it's 35%. Sorry, I haven't got the figures right in front of me, but slightly less of a percentage of women than men are positive about the budget and slightly more neutral. So I think the government hasn't yet won every woman over on this budget, but I think they're waiting and seeing and just digesting the detail, which of course a lot of voters have still yet to do.
All right, we're running out of time, but just finally, what about the overall response? Has this budget convinced voters to vote for the coalition at the next election?
I think it's true to say if you look across all the questions in this poll, the coalition has done a very good job of securing its base. Very few Liberal Party members, Liberal Party supporters are less likely to vote for the government as a result of this. 4% say they're less likely. But interestingly, 8% of Labor voters say they're more likely to vote for the government. So I think they probably got this one about right. It's about securing the base. It's about playing to their strengths on economic management. And certainly from these early figures, and it is early days, but it would seem that the government has done the job.